Oh, I thank you for that. I didn't realize that I didn't have sound on. That was embarrassing. Well, yeah. So basically, I have a live composite setup, and so we're basically gonna. I have this is my entire setup. It's a live composite. You have a base image, and then you have like a blinking animation. And this and choice here is you just choose. It just sets like a a a individual choice to to do the animation. So it's not doing the animation every few seconds. And yeah. And because apparently I didn't realize that I was muted, I'll have to go over this again. That we currently have a donation. I have a donation link below if you want to help out with the project. And yeah, so the code just takes the base image, which is this, and it basically anything that you want to be on a to be movable, you place in another layer, and then you code it accordingly. And we're gonna be working on that in this stream. So I've hidden these. So let's take a look how that looks. And I don't need to read all this because I already read it. And I am not an artist, so I use Vroid, which I'm very happy with how Vroid handles my sprites for me. But I think I messed up on this sprite because her facial expression looks very robot, like very much like a robot. And yeah, and so that this is just some more live composite stuff that I did. What's great about live composite is that when you're using the dissolve, you can set the transition, the dissolve transition, to dissolve on the parts that's moving. So let's say like I was to create a live composite where only the head is moving. I can, when I use dissolve, only the head will dissolve. So it looks a lot better. And this was another sprite that I did off screen because unfortunately Vroid doesn't have an option to make facial hair. So I have to manually draw the facial hair, and I didn't want to go through all of that on stream. But we're going to be working on another sprite. We're going to be working on my little sister sprite that I have to make. It was this sprite right here, this little girl that I have to make. I already have the sprite made in Vroid, but I need to do the live composite part, for it. And when I lost when my computer crashed, I lost the original sprite that I made of her. So I have to recreate her again. So let's open up Vroid. And this is the sprite. Okay, and so all we're gonna do is we're gonna pose her. And I'm gonna turn off auto blink so it doesn't get in the way. And let's pose. Let's do it like that. And let's go to facial expression and let's change her, make her not look at the camera. And let's give her a bit of a sad eye. Then let's doesn't matter if we're like putting it inside of her, because what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make her like putting her hands behind her back. That looks ugly. Let's fix that a bit. Okay, let's go to capture size. Let's change it to the correct size. I make my game at 1280 by 720 because not everyone has a computer that's capable of doing a 1080 playing a 1080p game. So I make my game at 720p. And that's alright, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's impose, let's take off the controller. Okay, and so what I'm gonna do is that yeah, let's do it like that. So what I'm gonna do is that first off I'm gonna just take one picture. So I do capture, and I'm just gonna call this base. Then I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna call this head base, and then I'm gonna do it again. Well, actually, first let's change to face expression, face expression, because we're gonna need to do some work in here in a little bit anyway. So we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna call it open eyes, and then I'm gonna go down to eyes, close her eyes halfway. So like that. Capture. Half eyes. Call it half eyes. And then I'm gonna close it completely. Closed eyes. Alright, and we're done in VRoid. Okay, and so I can close this, and so now we have some images to work with. So first off, I'm gonna open up the, oh actually I actually didn't need to, well yeah, I'll leave it. Okay, so first off we need to open up base, if I can find base wherever it is. There it is. Okay, and so first off, the first thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna zoom into her head, because I'm gonna for this particular sprite, I'm gonna animate her head actually. So I use VRoid for generating my sprites. It's a free program that allows you to create any like character you want, and you can use those characters in commercial projects, and it's not a problem. I actually looked into it, and that is part of the terms of service, that you can use the sprites you make in Vroid as in your commercial game, which helps a lot because I am not an artist. Okay, and so what we're gonna do is that, since I'm gonna need to animate her head eventually, and we're not gonna do it in this stream. I'm gonna, but I am gonna need to do it. I'm gonna basically just copy her head. And edit, paste a new image. Well, actually, no, what I need to do is edit, cut, edit, paste a new layer, and then select. Then I need to actually make sure to erase all that. No, actually, I can do it on when I'm ready to do it. I'm not ready to do that part yet. So I select everything, edit, copy, edit, paste a new image. Okay, and so I'll leave that file save as I'm not going to work on that just yet, so I'll just save it like that. Okay. Yep, perfect. All right. Okay. So now I can go back to working on this one. And so, since I'm not going to work on this sprite, just that part of the sprite just yet, I'm just going to merge these down. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is, first thing is I need to erase this entire background. Unfortunately, one of the downsides to working in Vroid is that you can't just use the magic wand tool and just select everything, because then it selects your character as well, which yes, technical, yes, it is called Vroid. And yes, unfortunately, it's you can't like do the shortcut, so I have to manually erase everything. Funny thing enough though is that I can do it for here, but I can't do it for anywhere else. So I have to manually erase everything. So this is the long part of the stream, just erasing everything. Oh, and I always make sure it's 100%. And just alright, and let's go all the way across. Well, what I like to do is that once I reach a new part of the sprite, I just like erase the sides also, so it goes faster. So what I'm basically doing is I'm erasing the background, so that it's when I save it as a ping, it's a transparent background, which is what I need. And Vroid does not save it as a transparent background. It saves it with a gray background. I'm sure there's a way you can fix that. If I go into Vroid and check the export settings, there's probably a transparent background option. Because I know you can change the background. You know what? Actually, let me check that. Because I'm curious now. Because if I can just change the background and make it transparent, that will save a lot of time. So, camera, background, and I'm just going to do a test one. And I'll just do random text. Because I want to see if it's... No, it's still gray. Because if I open this in Paint.net, it's going to have that gray background. Yeah, it does have that gray background. So yeah, you have to, there is no shortcut. Alright, so back to doing this. Oh, and by the way, in case you're and if you're watching this or are new to the channel, every time I do a visual novel stream, the very next day I do another a game stream where I stream Danganronpa. So as always, tomorrow I am doing a Danganronpa stream, which is usually around the same time, and tomorrow we're going to be working on chapter 3, I believe. I like to do that to like just take a break, because these game development streams, I do a lot of work, and so a day break is good. And so yeah, I just do all of this. Okay. One thing I don't like about Vroid is that, one, you can't create facial hair. So you have to manually draw so I have to manually draw facial hair. And two, another thing is that if you need to create a child character, like with this one, you can't really create a child character. You have to basically make you have to just basically make one, and as you can tell, this girl who's supposed to be like about like 4 years old, she doesn't quite look her age. So that's a little issue with the Vroid. But when you're not drawing, when you're generating your characters instead of drawing them yourself, that's something you sacrifice. And I apologize for that boomer start. I didn't realize, like, it was probably going on for like about maybe 10 minutes or so that I didn't realize that I was muted. So we're almost done. Excuse me. Alright, now I need to change to 1. Okay. It's funny because I've actually like gone and like really tried to make it so that I can do the shortcut, but no matter what I do, it just doesn't work. So I have to do it this way. Change it to 40. Oh, and I that's another thing. While I was muted, I answered a question that I had, and I didn't realize that I was muted. So yes, I do use Remphi, which you probably saw. But yeah, again, I apologize for not realizing that I was muted. Not the first time it's happened. And I guess this is a good point to go over here. Excuse me. And just a little bit more. And we're just about done with this part. Go over here. Excuse me. My throat is really acting up right now. I've been dealing with some phlegm for like a couple months now. That just will not go away. All right. Okay, and now we're gonna have to do the tricky part again, where I have to change to one to the smallest size that Paint.net can do. Okay, so now change to 1. We're gonna just go in here and just get rid of these strands of hair. Well, not really strands, really just like gaps in the hair. I think before we actually go into the bot work, I'm gonna take a short break actually and get something to drink because this throat is really bothering me. Okay, so now we can increase to like 5. Now, when we actually do work on the second one, we're gonna actually make this a movable part. So we're gonna move the head to a separate image, and then we're gonna move the eyes to a separate image as well. That way we can make it blank. But once you start doing live composite, it's really not that difficult. It's just a lot of work to prepare. And honestly, it makes a much better looking sprite. Which I've always found interesting that Toki Toki Literary Club uses ATL, but it doesn't use live composite, which I've always felt to be strange, which because ATL and live composite are known for working well together, but for some reason it's not used in Toki Toki, which I've always found to be strange. But to each their own. Okay. And let me see if I can do the shortcut here. No, I cannot. All right. And over here. Okay, so now I can change to a bigger size. No, that's too big. And yeah. Okay, that part is done. So now we just need to do all of that. which is not going to take that long. Because now I can just do 40 all the way. And we're almost done. Alright, and I'll just go. And it looks like I cannot go 40 all the way. Now I could do 40 all the way. Alright, and so now the easy part. So what we're going to do is that we're going to zoom in on her eyes, and using the selection tool, I'm just going to select the eyes. Doesn't matter that the hair is caught in it, because we're just going to put this on top of each other. And move this over just a tad. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit, cut, and then I'm going to edit, paste a new layer. And so I'm going to hide it. And we're basically just going to do like a color on it. Doesn't matter, as all that matters is that you can't see it when you put it on top again. Oh, wrong selection, wrong layer. There we go. Now it will select the color. No, I do not want this color to interfere with what's outside of this box. what I'm basically doing is I'm just basically coloring this in so that it's not like transparent when I save it, because that'll look weird. I probably don't have to do this, but I just like to do this just in case. It's gonna be covered anyway, but via code, but I like to just do it anyway. You know what, I can actually just do that right there. Perfect. Looks weird, but it's gonna be covered because when we bring it back up, it looks a little weird, so let's fix that a bit. It's that area right there that looks a little weird. No, select that. Go back to that. There we go, that looks good. Yeah, if it just looks a little weird, then just like fill in like that extra color. Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that for over here also. Then go back to over here. Yeah, it looks fine now. Okay. And so now what we're going to do is same thing that we did before. Select the entire thing. Edit copy. Edit paste a new image. And we're going to save this as the open eyes. I don't need this anymore. Okay. And now I'm going to go to layers, import from file, half eyes. And so all I gotta do is just select the eyes, edit, cut, edit, paste a new layer, and then delete that. And so now if I deselect this, you see, you can see that it's animated. That's a little animation. And so we're going to do the same thing. Make sure that layer is selected. Select all of that. Edit copy. Edit paste a new image. And you can see the half eyes. And go file, save as, half eyes. And then the final one. Edit cut, edit paste a new layer, and delete that layer. Perfect. So now select that the new layer. Select all of that. Copy, paste a new image. Save as, close dice. Okay, and that's all done. So now I have my images. So base, the open eyes, the half eyes, and the closed eyes. And so I'm going to rename all of this. Oh shit, I forgot. I made a mistake. I forgot to save the base. So I'll have to do that again. But that's not a big issue. Oh wait, but let me see if I can pull it up again. Where's paint.net? I hope I can pull that up again.